I'm going to share my screen. Good evening, guys. How are you doing?
Yeah, good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Okay, is my screen visible?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Just let me quickly share the handout with you before we move ahead with the lesson handout. Okay, I have shared it in the group chat that we have. Yeah, just 1 second. Okay, great. Now we'll be starting with lesson number 5 of our speaking, that is books and literature. So here we are going to be talking about books and literature. Okay. Now, in this lesson, basically, we are going to see how to identify and use the common expressions that we have for giving a preference. And then we are going to look at how to identify and use common expressions for giving an explanation again. Along with that, we are also going to look at the task type of a speaking section of the TOEFL that we have. Okay, so let us get started. For warm up, we have different types of books which are given over here, and of course the genre also. So I want you to quickly match the letters with the pictures which are given.
Done, Joshua.
Done?
Done, ma'am.
Done? Okay. Pranjali?
Is done, ma'am.
Done? Okay. Tell me the genres.
So first one is horror,
Mm-hmm.
second romance, third fantasy,
Okay.
and the fourth one is crime.
Crime. Very good. It was
Yes, ma'am.
easy for you, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next question. What type of books do you enjoy reading in your free time? What type of books do you enjoy reading in your free time?
Uh, Books related to spy stories, espionage.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am. Like it keeps us on the edge of our seat. Like we don't know what is going next. Like
Mm-hmm.
what is the plot? What is the twist? What is the upcoming thriller?
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
it also helps us in improving problem solving skills.
Okay.
Yes.
Instead of saying it keeps us on the edge of the seat, it is mostly used for movies. Okay, because we
Right.
are watching the movies and we are sitting on a seat. Here you would say it's a page turner. It's a page turner. It wants like you want to read further and find out what happens, correct? So you can use these phrases instead. Okay. What about you, Pranjali?
It's depend on my personal preferences. I prefer fantasy books and crime books.
Okay, very good. Esther, what about you?
I'll go with fantasy because there's no limit of imagination in there. You can actually imagine whatever you want, like the fantasy things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay. What do you think? What are some benefits of reading books?
knowledge and a lot of um, what do we say? You'll get a lot of ideas about how things are and which you don't
Hmm.
know actually.
Okay.
Ma'am, it enhances our vocabulary.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we can read books to reduce our stress or
Mm-hmm.
alleviate our mental stress.
Mm-hmm.
Reading books also help us in improving concentration. And yeah, that's
Okay, Pranjali.
Uh, Ma'am, it's enhances
It
our creati-
enhances. It enhances.
it enhances our creativity and imagination.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, moving to the next part. Here we are going to listen to a conversation, which is of course between students and a literature professor. As usual, you guys have to take notes while listening to it, and I'm going to be asking you few questions based on it. Okay, ready? Okay, I'll play the audio.
Yes.
Listen to a conversation between a student and a professor.
Wow, this place is huge.
Yeah, the book selection here is pretty nice. Oh, look, I've been wanting to read that book for a while.
Hmm, I haven't opened a book in ages. Well, for pleasure. I usually just go home and watch a TV show or some videos online. Maybe I should buy a book today.
Excuse me, sorry to interrupt, but your conversation caught my attention. May I share some of my thoughts with you? I mean, I'd love to help out in any way I can.
Oh, hi, Professor Lambert. Yeah, sure.
Well, I think you're right. It is a good idea to buy a book. You know, I enjoy reading books way more than watching TV.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, well, first, reading can improve your writing. What I mean is, it's good to read so that you learn new, useful words and improve your grammar skills.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't really think about that before.
Yeah, it's also great to read when you feel stressed out. I mean, your university years are super busy, right?
Yes. I feel like I always have some place to go or something to do.
Right. I remember when I was in college. Anyway, I prefer reading over watching TV because picking up a book gives us a chance to relax and visit another time, place, or even world. That is to say, when we read, we can take a break from our busy lives and focus on someone else's story. And there are so many interesting genres of literature to choose from. For example, I really enjoy sitting down and reading fantasy books because I get to imagine a world with magic. Oh, also, did you know that reading before bed can actually help some people get a better night's sleep?
Okay, you've convinced me. I'm getting a book today. Can you recommend any fantasy books? I like fantasy stories more than other kinds of books, as I'm a huge fan of TV shows with, dragons and stuff.
Great. I'm just trying to help. After all, I love reading. And yes, the store has a huge fantasy section right over there.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Now, where do you think this conversation takes place?
In a
at a
library?
bookstore.
At a bookstore. Okay.
Yes.
Pranjali, Esther, what do you think?
Yeah, I first thought it's a library, yeah, but it's a bookstore.
Okay, Pranjali.
In university library.
It's a big bookstore. She says at the end, right? The bookstore has a lot of collection of books, correct? Okay. What does the professor think about reading?
Uh,
Um, it
Professor
helps
thinks,
in. Okay, you go, Hassan.
okay. So she thinks that it improves writing. We can enhance our vocabulary. We can improve our grammar. It helps us to reduce the stress, and reading before bed also encourages better night's sleep,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, many other more benefits of reading. Like it help us to, take a journey. It help us to take a break of our. It help us to take break from our life and go to someone else's journey or relocate to someone else's journey and experience it through
Okay,
reading.
it helps us. It helps
Yeah,
us. Helps
yeah.
आएगा. It के साथ में helps आएगा. And someone else's journey. Okay. Esther, do you agree or disagree with her? That also part you have to answer to me.
Yeah, first of all, I do agree with the professor. And as she said that reading can improve writing, grammar skills, and when we are stressed out, when we read, it relieves us from that stress and it makes us get involved in
Mm-hmm.
others' life rather than our own busy life when we are like busy. She also said that uh, while before we like before reading before bedtime can give us a better sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay. What do you think the student will do next?
The student might read more books based on professor's advice.
Mm-hmm. Hamza, Esther, what do you think?
Yeah, he will
Yeah,
start
that's
reading books.
Yeah, he'll buy a book, he said, right? He'll buy a
Yeah.
book. So that becomes your answer. Okay. Now, we are going to look at how to express our preferences because you might remember that in the task number one, it is very, very important for us to express our preference because that's how we get the question also, where you might be given options and you have to express your preference over there. A preference is nothing but a fact that you like about something or someone more than another thing or person. Correct? We usually talk about preferences when there are two or more than two options. And we might remember that we had also looked at the words that we can use. Now, when you have been given options, say which one do you like more, studying at a cafe or studying in a library? You will say, I prefer studying at a cafe, or I like the way your question will start, your answer should be in the same way. I like studying in a cafe more. If the question starts with the word prefer, then of course your answer should start with the word prefer. If I ask you, what do you prefer, studying in a cafe or in a library, then you will say, I prefer studying in a cafe. Okay. When you have the words like better or like the most, then you will use the words accordingly. Remember, you have to use the comparative degrees and superlative degrees also properly when you're doing it. We have already gone through that before. Along with that, we have gone through the rules of the word prefer also. Whenever we use the word prefer, we do not use the word more with it. Okay? That's something that we have to remember. You will say, I prefer water to soda because water is healthier. That's how you will give your preference and then give an example also why. Okay. I prefer staying. I prefer to stay at home in my free time to going out since I don't like places with a lot of people. So you're giving your preference, plus you are giving the reason also why you don't like it. I like romance movies more. I am more interested in reading the news than novels. That is how you will explain it. Okay, clear? Now, the tip that you have over here is some of the TOEFL speaking tasks that we have. Of course, they are going to ask for your personal choice. As you know, it's our first task type that we have where we talk about a personal choice. Your question would look something like this. Some people prefer to go to a university in or near their hometown. Others prefer to study at a university in a new city or a place. Which do you think is better and why? So, of course, the word contains better over here. Your question contains better. So, that's how your answer should be. Okay. I think studying in a university away from your hometown is better in a new city. Correct? That's how you will say. Another way your question would be, which of the following would you suggest your school to build? A gym or a cafeteria? So your answer will start with something like, I would suggest my school to build a gym or a cafeteria. So the way your question is, that's the way you're going to modify your answer. That is the reason the templates don't fit everywhere. If you refer to templates में वहां पर दिया होगा something and you would start your answer with something so it doesn't cater to the question which is given over here. Okay, that's why you should tweak it according to the question. Okay. Now, when you're responding to it, you will respond by giving your preference clearly, by introducing your preference clearly, and then you will explain your preference with reasons and give appropriate examples also. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good.
Yes, yes.
Now, how to we are going to try to identify preferences and then explanations. Here, some sentences are given. You have to read the sentences and you have to see the preferences which have been given and explanations which have been given. If possible, circle them and underline them. Circle the preferences and underline the explanations. And of course, you're going to tell me the answers at the end. Done?
One. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
1 second. Hmm. So your sentences that express a preference are I enjoy reading books way more than watching TV. I prefer reading mo- I prefer reading over watching TV because picking up a book gives us a chance to relax and visit another time, place, or even world. That becomes your
Preference.
preference. Okay. And I like fantasy stories more. Even that is your preference. Sentences that only provide a further explanation would be, I mean, I would love to help out in a way I can. Correct? Then what I mean is, it's good to read so that you can learn new useful words. That is to say, when we read, we can take a break from our busy lives and focus on someone else's story. Correct? These are your sentences which give explanations. Clear?
Yeah.
Yes,
Any
ma'am.
questions, any doubts, anything that you do not understand? Okay. Now, in the sentences above, which expressions do you think are used to introduce a preference and which ones are used to give explanations? You just have to note them down in your notebook quickly.
Shishmita, does it mean that we have to give an example on this?
No, 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 no. You just need to note the phrases which have been used from over here. Okay.
Okay, like which are
For example,
explanations?
I prefer reading over watching TV. That
Mhm.
becomes your
Okay,
one phrase over here.
got
Okay, I prefer reading over watching TV because picking up a book, that becomes your one phrase.
it. All
It's
right. Okay.
repeated. Hmm.
Done, ma'am.
Done?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Tell me the phrases quickly.
Hmm. I enjoy reading books. I
Mm-hmm.
prefer reading. I prefer reading over watching TV. I like
Mm-hmm.
fantasy stories.
Very good. Okay, that becomes your sentences or phrases. And explanations are quite easy for you, so it's okay if you don't give me the answers. You must have noted them correctly. Now, look at the pairs in the table. Which one do you prefer and why? You have to speak on it. Okay, you guys have to speak on it. Two options are given. For example, first one, I prefer tea to coffee because tea has less caffeine. Now, if you guys remember when I explained to you the rules for using our comparative words and superlative words, we also went through the rules of prefer, correct? With prefer, we use the word to. We don't use than with prefer. Okay.
Shushmita, I have a doubt.
Hmm. Tell me.
So instead of that, movies and music concerts are there, no? So do we have to form a sentence? I prefer music concerts over or to movie, like over movies, right?
You can say over. Yep. I
Okay.
prefer music concerts over movies. That somehow sounds little odd. So you can use to instead. To is better.
Okay.
Hmm. Okay, guys, ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
who's going to start with the first topic?
Like I prefer taxis. No, I prefer train to taxis. No, I prefer train over taxis to avoid traffic.
Mm-hmm. It's not necessary to use only prefer. Okay. You
Ah,
can, for
okay.
as we are practicing now, you can try using other words also. I like trains better.
Okay.
Mhm. Okay. Pranjali?
For third one, I prefer independent work over group work because I can focus better on my work.
Okay. Esther, number four.
I prefer music over movies because music concerts over music because it gives my free time the space which I can where I can watch movies by myself.
You said I prefer music concerts over movies. That means you
Yeah.
like music concerts. And the explanation that you're giving doesn't go with it.
Oh, okay, okay.
हाँ. When you say I prefer tea over coffee, मतलब tea ज़्यादा पसंद है. That's what you're saying.
All right. I got confused
Hmm.
on this.
Hmm.
So I prefer movies over music concerts because, and if I'm watching movie, it's like my own personal space rather than being in
Mm-hmm.
crowd.
Okay, very good. Okay, clear till now? Now you guys have two
Yes, ma'am.
flyers over here. Okay, that you have to read. Basically, the book club that you are in is going to hold a book fair on campus. As a club member, you have made a flyer and you have to promote books during these events. So you have two flyers that some members of the book club have designed. You have to tell, like you have to talk to each other based on what genre of literature are they promoting and what kind of story would you like to read? A love story or a tragedy and why? So basically, you guys have to speak on it. Okay? Tell me once you're ready. It's a discussion that guys are doing. You will be speaking with each other.
Done, ma'am.
Ready?
Yeah.
Esther, Pranjali?
1 minute, ma'am.
Sure.
Done, ma'am.
Okay. You guys can start, Esther.
Should I start? Or-
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
It's a discussion.
So,
I'm
yeah,
narrating
okay.
that part, okay? Hmm.
So I prefer romantic tragedy over a love story because of the complex plot development. Because romantic tragedy often have plots with unexpected twists and emotional turns. So it helps keeping audience engaged,
Mhm.
and it gives us deeper understanding of life because they often explore themes like fate, destiny, harsh realities of life, imperfection of human existence, like what extent a human can go,
Mhm.
yeah, for his love, his or her love. It often symbolizes sacrifice, moral dilemmas, and like, yeah, that's it.
Okay. Others?
I would choose love story because I enjoy happy endings and heartwarming relationships. And love
Okay.
stories often provide sense of comfort and positivity.
Mhm. That's it?
Um, and also they often explore theme of personal growth.
Okay.
Yes.
That's it?
Yes.
Okay, Esther.
Yeah, even I would go with love stories because it'll be good. It'll give a positive environment to the audience. Like when they imagine about the things. Comparatively, if we go with romantic tragedy, it's negative thoughts and hurtful things it goes with.
Okay, that's it?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next question. Why is it beneficial to read stories about romance? If you are going to promote romance book, what would you say?
Should I answer this question?
It
Yeah, you should answer.
yeah. So maybe every story has different ending, and every story is different to the like. It's not the same. Every love story is different. So you can learn things like in that story if the author is giving some advice or anything to the youngsters or you know
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Okay. Sindar?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, actually, romantic stories like they evoke feeling of love, joy, longing, and many people find it relatable with their own life. That's why.
Okay. Pranjali?
Mm. They provide comfort, inspire hope, and deep emotions, and beautifully crafted stories.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you enjoy heartwarming love stories or dramatic relationships, novels offer something for everyone.
Okay. Last question. Look at the genres of literature which are given below. Which do you prefer and why?
So I prefer thriller stories because it is like incredibly engaging and captivating, and
Mm-hmm.
it often keep us in adrenaline rush.
Keeps us. It के साथ में it's third person singular.
Uh,
So you use S with the
yeah,
verb.
it keeps us on the urge of adrenaline rush,
Mm-hmm.
like because of the fast-paced plots, suspense,
It gives
and
us adrenaline rush.
it gives
It
us
gives
right,
us.
right,
Hmm.
and it keeps us on the edge of our seat, like making us feel more alive and engaged. The
Mm-hmm.
excitement, the escape, and the mental stimulation which goes on in our mind, like what will be the next part,
Mm-hmm.
what is the twist, and there is a some sense of mystery,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that keeps like the reader or that keeps the reader engaged
Okay.
in the thriller story.
Esther, what about you?
Uh, I would go with biography because it's a good thing that we know about great personalities, what they did, and how much they have sacrificed, or in every way. So we can learn from them, but then like watching the biography, and maybe we can implement some few things in our life as well.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it.
Yes.
Okay, Pranjali.
I prefer fantasy because it often includes imaginative worlds, unique characters, and amazing storytelling. Fantasy books can also blend a lot of elements of romance, adventure, and mystery, making them engaging and enjoyable to read.
Okay. Okay. Now I want you guys to quickly go through the, I wouldn't say template, but the sheet that I have shared with you. I have shared it in the group again that we have. Just look at it quickly. And I want you guys to reframe your questions because I feel they can be better. Okay, so I want you guys to reframe your questions accordingly, but I don't want you to write it down. Just make notes the way you would make it in the test. All of you know the test structure by now. Just make brief notes using the same. You have to, mm, yeah, answer this question for me again. Okay, question number three. So frame it accordingly. I will give you 1 minute and I will be back in 1 minute. Okay, so just give me 1 minute. You got it, what you have to do, right?
No,
Yeah.
can you please explain it again?
So basically, I have shared one
Okay,
document
yeah,
in the
I got
group.
it. Question number
Okay.
two to four, right?
Yeah. Just go through they have given the phrases that you can use while framing your answers. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want you to by heart them, but just look at the phrases, the way the transition words have been used. Just look at it and you have to frame your answer accordingly. Okay. So I want you guys to reframe your answers and you have to speak on it for at least 1 minute. That is another thing that you need to keep in mind. Your answers were very, very brief. Okay. Usually you get 45 seconds for the first question, but still try to speak for 1 minute, I would say over here. Okay, 60 seconds.
All right.
So do that. I will be back in 1 minute. Ready? Yes, no.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Hamza, you can start.
Okay. So I prefer thriller stories over science fiction fantasy because nowadays thriller stories are popular genre like for many readers. And the reason behind that is that it gives the reader excitement, suspense, and mental stimulation. And the plots, the experience, the twist, unexpected twist keeps the readers on the edge of their seats, like creating an intense impact on their mind that what will happen next. And uh, like thriller stories also explore, also gives us uh, gives us to explore deep and dark themes such as like the crime, betrayal, which tap into the human emotions and fears, uh, and the thrill of trying to uncover the mystery to add twist uh, to the satisfaction of reading or watching these stories. I think these all are the reasons why I generally love thriller stories more than any other genre.
Okay. You could use some transition words, okay? You could use more transition words.
Okay.
Okay. Esther?
Yeah, so I prefer biography stories because they inspire us and they reveal real life journeys, struggles, and success. Also, mm, we can learn from their experiences of others.
Also is a very basic transition word that you can use, okay? Try to use a better transition word, I would say.
Okay, so they allow us to learn from their experiences of like from the experiences of others and inspiration, wisdom. Yeah, that's all.
That's all? It was not even 30 seconds.
Um, and the like we get the deeper understanding of human nature, why and which and why they tend to resonate with many people when we read autobiography or get to know about great personalities.
Very short. Okay. Pranjali?
I prefer fantasy because it allows me to escape from reality and explore magical worlds filled with adventure.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite experience with fantasy when I read Harry Potter as a child. The idea of receiving a letter to a magical school and spells fascinated me. It made me imagine what life would be like if magic were real.
Mm-hmm.
Fantasy books also teach valuable lessons about friendship and bravery. For example, in The Lord of the Rings, the character face so many challenges but never give up on, uh, and this has inspired me in my own life, especially when I'm dealing with difficult situation.
Okay. Very good. Better. The response was better this time, Pranjali. Okay.
Okay.
Understood how your response should be? Again, the transition
Yes.
words, the phrases that you can use for transitions, the phrases that you can give to give introduction, you can use to give introduction are given over there. Okay.
Okay.
Your question number one, your response, as we were practicing right now, it was a question number one. Okay, the response for question number 2 and question number 3 and question number 4 is going to be a bit different. Now, quickly open the TOEFL guide. I hope you guys have it handy. Open the TOEFL guide and go to speaking section. I'm also going to try to open it here. Just give me 1 second. Hmm. Okay, you guys open it at your side. It's fine. I'm going to stop sharing the screen. Do you guys have it handy or do you want me to reshare it?
Can you reshare it? Actually, I have one, but I'm not sure if that's the one or not.
Yeah, or share the screen, ma'am, if possible.
Mhm. Wait, let me reshare it. Okay, I've shared it. Go to speaking chapter. That is your chapter number 4.
Got it.
Have you opened it?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to share the screen also. Just give me 1 second. Okay, Esther. How much time do we have for speaking in the actual test?
30 minutes.
You think? What do you think? The estimated time to complete the speaking section is 16 minutes. You get 16 minutes overall only for speaking. Okay,
Okay.
clear? How many tasks do you have, Esther, in speaking?
Four.
4
Four.
tasks. Very good. And how much time do you get overall for these 4 tasks?
Like 15 to 30 seconds.
15 to 20 seconds to prepare.
Okay,
Overall,
and
you get to speak only 3 minutes 45 seconds.
mm,
Overall, in your test, you speak only for 3 minutes 45 seconds. Okay. Now,
okay,
first thing that you have to remember that you have to speak only for 3 minutes 45 seconds. But again, you have to prove your speaking skills in only those 3 minutes 45 seconds. That is the reason it is very, very crucial that you do everything properly over there. Okay.
Okay.
When you start your response, it's very important that you do not take a lot of time to start. You start your response immediately because you get only 45 seconds and 16 minutes, sorry, 60 seconds and 60 seconds overall. For the first task, you get 45 seconds to speak. For all the other three tasks, you get only 60 seconds to speak. So that is
Okay.
why proving yourself in those 3 minutes 45 seconds becomes very, very crucial. And it's very important that you do not waste on any time over there. And that is the reason the way you are going to start your answers, it should be by heart. Because when you start speaking, it's very difficult to start it. Once you've started, it's easier to keep on going. Imagine you're starting a car. If the car is in motion, it will keep on going. But to start the car, it's difficult. Correct?
Yeah.
So you have to start the car. Once it has started, then you can explain it in your own words properly. So that is the reason. First thing that you have to do is use the sheet that I just shared with you and get clear with the starters that you can use. For the first question, for the second question, for the third question, and for the fourth question.
Okay.
Okay, so you don't have to keep thinking, okay, अभी मैं क्या बोलूं? अभी मैं कैसे start करूं? You don't have to keep on thinking when you are at the actual test center over there.
Yes.
Understood? That's why it becomes very, very important. That is the reason we are practicing. I prefer, I like more. That's how you will start your answer as soon as you see the question. Okay, that becomes your first point. Now, when you are in the test center, the first point that you will be assessed on is the delivery, then the language usage, and the topic development. Now, for the topic development part, your transition words become very, very helpful, very, very important along with helpful. That's what shows that you have actually used the development part, that you have developed your topics, you have put them into points, you have synthesized your answers the way they are supposed to be. Okay, language usage, of course, that's where you're going to look at your vocabulary, sentences that you're using, whether you are using the correct vocabulary, whether you are making good sentences, and whether they are grammatically correct or not. That's what they are going to observe. Delivery, delivery is very, very important for you, for all of us, because that's where your tone, your intonation, your sound, whether you are speaking very fast, whether you are speaking very slow, is going to be assessed and you're going to be scored on that. Can we speak very slow?
No.
No, because you have only 45 seconds and 60 seconds to speak. If you speak very slow, you won't give the response, as much response as it is expected to be. Can you speak very fast?
No.
No, it was not allowed where you're working also. Remember, okay, you can't speak very, very fast. You cannot
Yeah.
speak very fast anywhere. Along with that, so basically you should be at a natural pace. Now, what do we mean by natural pace? A natural pace is somewhere between, say, for the first task, if you're speaking in 45 seconds, it should be around 110 words to 120 words. Okay. For all the other tasks, that is your task number two, three, and four, it should be between 140 words to 150 words.
All
Okay,
right.
so you don't have to try to speak very fast also, because if you try to speak very fast, the other person will not understand what you're saying. Okay, that is the reason you have to speak at a natural pace. Along with that, your pronunciation needs to be clear. Your sentence stress, your syllable stress needs to be at an even pace. Now, when we talk about sentence stress, remember this, I had taught this, I feel last time. Your content words have more stress, your function words have less stress. What are content words? The main words that we use in the sentence, the adjectives, the nouns, the verbs, they are your content words. And all the other words are our function words. Function words have less stress in a sentence. Okay?
Okay.
That comes with the pronunciation and the syllable stress and the natural stress. Along with that, even our words have stress. Correct? And of course, they should be pronounced clearly. and properly. Along with that, your tone plays a major role. Now, the way you were giving responses, if you give me response in that tone, I will say नींद में से उठ के आए हो क्या? If I am your examiner. Okay? Don't
Yeah.
worry, I'm not going to be there. I am very, very strict. However, luckily for you, TOEFL IBT scorers are not so strict. But yes, your tone needs to be good. You shouldn't sound lethargic. You shouldn't sound monotonous.
Okay.
Your tone should have that rhythm which is necessary. For example, even if you cannot see me, you can see that pacing in my sentences, the way my tone is going, way my pitch is going up and down. You can understand my full stops, you can understand my commas, you can understand where I'm giving examples and where my sentence ends. Correct?
Got it.
That's what becomes
Yeah.
important when you talk about intonations, and that's what is important while talking about patterns, the rhythm patterns that you have. Okay.
Yeah. Got it.
Now, as you know, the first task is going to be an independent task. The way we did the practice right now, that was for independent task, where you get 45 seconds to speak and you get approximately 15 seconds to prepare. Now, understand this, in this 15 seconds, you cannot write down everything that you have to speak. You
Yeah.
have you get a scratch paper to make notes, but you will make very brief notes, just pointers so that you remember whatever you have to speak. Because once we start speaking, we lose track of what we want to speak. Correct? That is the reason you need to make notes, but those notes need to be very, very brief. Just pointers. Okay, I will talk about studying in a cafe. Why? Because I prefer to study with friends. अभी मैंने बहुत ज़्यादा words use किया. You will use very brief words. Okay. Studying with friends, example, and then you will try to include examples over there. Of course, you will go with the preference, and then you will give real life examples. Another very important point: whenever you're giving a response for speaking as well as writing, they should be only in simple present tense. Which tense will it be in, Esther?
Simple present tense.
सिंपल प्रेजेंट टेंस उसका भी वीडियो मैंने डाला हुआ है यूट्यूब पे जस्ट गो थ्रू इट वंस आई शेयर द लिंक आल्सो विथ यू इफ यू वांट
Yeah.
okay
Yeah. Please do that.
you will use only simple present tense to frame your sentences when you're giving examples only in this task no other task you're going to give your own examples only in this task whenever you're giving examples max to max you can use simple past tense okay. Last
Okay.
week, I went to a cafe with my friends where I studied for 2 hours. बस उतना ही एग्जाम्पल देने के लिए you will use simple past tense. Everywhere else, for stating whatever you are listening, whatever you're reading, whatever your opinion is, you will use simple present tense. You will not
Okay.
use any other tense. If you want to score well, if you don't want to score well, you can use any tense that you want. Okay.
Got it.
Yeah, that's something which is very, very important for us over here. Okay, you have to start speaking immediately so that you don't waste time. You will speak till the end. You will use transition words, and when you end your speaking task, also you will use concludely words that you have. For example, in conclusion, to summarize, and you will summarize it in one sentence.
We can
Okay.
say, hence, I believe,
Hence,
hence.
therefore,
Okay.
correct. You
Okay.
can use
All
that.
right.
Pranjali, clear? Pranjali, are you there? Hamza already left the
Yes,
class. I
I'm
don't know
listening.
why. Okay, you're listening. I hope you remember all the points that I had told at the start.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now, next you have, now understand another thing. This is the only task where you will give your own response. Okay. Task number two,
Okay.
task number three, task number four that you have, you will not give your opinion, you will not give your response. You will give response only on the basis of whatever you are going to listen or read.
All
You
right.
will not give your opinion anywhere else. This is the only task where you will give your opinion.
Okay.
Understood?
Mm.
Write this in bold in your notebook.
Only for speaking, we have to give our own
Only
opinion.
for speaking task one. Only for speaking task one.
Okay.
Hmm. In your एग्जाम टास्क ऐसे ही आएंगे स्क्रीन पे. ठीक है? The way I am explaining to you. First, you will get the independent task where you will give your example, your explanation, your real life examples, your preference. Clear? And
Yeah. So
only in
after
task one. Hmm.
so after
Task,
task one, we have to listen and answer.
for task number two, three, you have to listen, you have to read, you have to listen, and then answer based on that. Okay? I'm coming to that. Don't get confused as of now. एक एक करते हैं. Okay? Clear?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Next, we have speaking task two. Do read through this, okay, in your free time. Hmm.
Yeah, I
Like
will.
whenever you sit to study after this, do read through this. I'm just explaining it to you in brief. Now, second task that you have is fit and explain. The second task is very, very easy, but a little crucial. Why is it crucial? Here, you will, like, you have to imagine that you are a university student. Your
Yeah. Okay. I
college,
get this.
your university has given out a notification, some kind of notification, it will be there. You have to read it. It will be a very brief notification. Okay, you have to read through it. You will be given time on the screen कि कितना time मिलेगा. Usually it's 45 seconds because it's very brief notification which is there. So your reading speed, of course, it needs to be faster. You will read through it. Now, based on this notification, two of your classmates are conversing. Okay? Two of your classmates are going to be conversing. Now, in this conversation, most of the times, 99% of the time, one student will have a strong opinion about that notification. What do I mean by strong opinion? Say the notification says that, okay, the fees has increased by 10% because of the inflation, blah, 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 blah. The student A over here will say, the fees has increased. Last year only they increased the fees. This time they are increasing it again. How are we supposed to manage? Already the amenities that we have are not up to the mark. We don't get good facilities, and now they are increasing the fees again. That's how that student will have a strong opinion. And the other student, he might have strong opinions or not, or he might be in favor of the notification. It will totally depend. But most of the times over here, the question or the prompt that you will get on the screen is to give the examples and explain on whatever the student A, the student who has strong opinion, has given. You have to give the examples and you have to explain why she was not happy with the notification, basically, to put it in simple words. ठीक है? You
Yes.
will get 30 seconds to prepare and 60 seconds to speak. Now, again, you will use simple present tense to explain your answer. Yeah?
Mm, yeah.
Then you have your task number three. Task number three is going to be like your actual lecture. You are going to read a passage based on the same passage. It's going to be a brief passage for you, but based on the same passage, you're going to listen to a lecture. Now, if you remember, if you have gone through my recordings before, if you remember, I have told this at the start that whenever you read something and whatever the lecturer is going to be saying, they are mostly going to be opposing. They are going to be contradictory opinions that they have. Okay. So that's where you have to pay attention, and those are the points that you need to remember. That okay, reading में ऐसा ऐसा बोला गया है, but in the lecture he opposes by saying so and so. Or he gives more examples or he gives more explanations. That's what you have to remember. Okay. And that's what mostly you will be asked based on. Yeah, that's going to be your task number three. You will again get 30 seconds to prepare and 60 seconds to speak on it. Yeah. Again, remember whatever examples the professor is giving, make sure to note down those examples. Whatever definitions the professor is giving, make sure you note down those definitions and rephrase, paraphrase, and say it in your answer. Don't say it in the same words. Okay.
Yeah.
Next, the task number 4. Task number 4, you will only get listening over here. You will not get a reading passage. You only have to listen to it, and based on that, you have to give your response. Okay? You will get 20 seconds to prepare over here and 60 seconds to answer, give your response. Here, mostly you will be asked the definitions of whatever the professor has explained and the examples the professor has explained. So make sure you note down it accordingly. Like when you, while listening, when you make notes, that's how you have to make your notes.
Okay.
Understood?
Shushmita, I have a doubt.
Hmm.
So,
Tell me.
for making note, how do we do? Like, we'll get a paper or pen, or we
Yeah,
can.
you get a scratch paper and a pen over there. Okay. Carry a
Okay.
pen or a pencil with you also, but usually you get everything over there. Some examination centers allow water bottles, some don't, but make sure you carry a water bottle with you, which is transparent, which does not have any labels on it.
So I don't
Anything
have to carry
else?
any PC or something, no, like my own
No,
laptop.
no, 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 nothing, nothing, nothing. You get everything over there.
Okay.
Okay. And make sure you know take a printout of, like, take it today because tomorrow is holy, so some things might be closed. Take a printout of the email that you must have received or the PDF that I had shared with you after booking the test.
Okay,
Okay.
sure.
So take a printout of it and keep your passport handy.
Okay, I have to carry my passport.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, so don't worry. When we connect later during the day, I'll give you all the tips and tricks over there.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, clear? We have gone through speaking. Now we just have to go through reading, listening, and writing. Okay. Now for writing, Pranjali and Esther, I'm sharing one task with both of you. You have to complete it. Esther, you have to complete it in 1 hour and share the response with me because that's when I'll be connecting with you. And of course, Pranjali, you have time till Saturday. Tomorrow we don't have a session. Okay.
Okay, ma'am, no problem.
Tomorrow is a holiday.
Ma'am,
Hmm.
I have a question
Yeah, please tell me.
for the task 2 and 3.
Hmm.
Do we really need to take notes while reading?
Reading. Yeah, because the
And that's
passage
it.
will not come on the screen again.
Yeah,
Most
yeah,
of the time, the passage will not come on the screen again. So make sure you
yes.
take notes. Still, I would say for task number 2, it's fine. Like it would still work if you don't take notes. But for task number 3, you will need notes.
Okay,
Okay, because task number 2 mainly asks you about the speaker over there. But task number 3, you will need both.
okay,
Okay. Along with that, the way I said, your vocabulary needs to be good, your pronunciation needs to be clear, and you need to make sure that you use transition words also enough. Along with that, like keep your starters ready so that you don't fumble, you don't waste seconds in your test. Okay. So you should have your starters. For example, for question number 1, you could start off with, I definitely think that, personally, I strongly believe, personally speaking, I feel that, I have never thought about this before, but I prefer studying in a cafe. That's how your answer should start off. For task number 2, reading the sorry, I'll rephrase it. The reading passage announces a change on campus. In particular, the notification is about a change in fee structure or an increase in fee structure. Another example, the reading passage announces a change in fee structure. Another example, it looks like there will be a change on the university campus. We see that there is an increase in fee structure and the student is not very, very happy about it. Or the speaker, don't say student, the speaker is not very, very happy about it. Most of the times you will use the word speaker. If there is a professor, then you will use the word professor, the lecturer, or the speaker. But mostly it would be preferred that you use the word professor and lecturer. Speaker should be third option and the last option. Okay. For question number 3, you will compare. You will say the, according to reading, topic is whatever the topic definition is. The reading passage describes a concept known as, which is, so you will give your definition, what we did in the class yesterday, if you guys remember. The reading is about, and you will give the definition. For question number 4, you would go on to say something like the professor goes into a ton of details about, and you will give the topic definition. In the lecture, professor explains. The lecture is about, you will give the definition. I had never heard of topic, the topic you will mention, until now, and it is kind of interesting to get to know about psychology. That is how you will understand. Of course, there are more phrases given in the guide that I shared with you. Okay. Now, the high frequency words are very, very important for us, which are your discourse markers. In addition, as a matter of fact, actually, you have to use them to add on information. For emphasizing information, you will use the words like in fact, more importantly. For giving ideas or putting your ideas into a chronological manner to synthesize your information, you will use words like firstly, secondly, thirdly, in conclusion, another reason. She goes on to say, all these phrases become important.
So
Okay?
basically, it's like
Hmm.
we are actually talking to a person rather than talking to a computer, like or
Yes,
sharing our opinions.
yes. But over here, you have to speak to a computer. You don't have an actual person.
Yeah.
Your response will
Oh,
be recorded. Now, when your response will be recorded, you will be assessed by a human, not only one human, but 4 humans. Okay. So you have human raters plus AI. So you will be assessed by 4 human raters and one AI, of course. And
okay.
whatever
I
your
have a
score is
doubt.
the highest, that score will be taken. So you get scored out of 4, okay, for
Mhm.
each task. So 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4, that goes to 16. And that 16 is converted to the scale of 30. Okay. So for every task, say is assessor A is me, assessor B is Pranjali, assessor C is Hamza, and of course you have an AI and the assessor D is say someone else. I have given 3, Pranjali has given 3, Hamza has given 2, AI has given you 2. Okay. And your assessor D has given you 3.5 or 4, then 4
Okay.
would be considered for your score. So whatever is highest will be considered. पहले चीज मतलब इतना
Oh,
डिस्क्रिपेंसी नहीं रहता, 2 and 4 इतना नहीं होता, 3 and 4 का हो सकता है डिस्क्रिपेंसी. And whoever has given you the highest, that will be considered as your score. Okay,
okay.
in TOEFL.
Also, one more
Hmm.
thing, like when we speak, excuse me,
Yeah,
when we
go ahead.
talk or when we speak, so like, do we get headset or how do we have to talk?
Yeah, you get a headset. Your headsets are like just like the ones we use in office. They are
Mm-hmm.
very, very sensitive, so you don't need to speak very loudly as such.
Okay.
Okay. They are very sensitive mics, so even when you're speaking normally, your voice will get captured in it. So you don't need to
Okay.
worry about that. But yes, don't speak very softly because right now when you are speaking to me on the call over here in the class, you were speaking very, very softly. Okay, so try to be a little louder, otherwise your tone and pronunciations would get hampered over there.
All right.
Okay. But yes, the way we were discussing yesterday, Hamza and Pranjali were asking me this question. Will the test center be very noisy? Yes, it will be very noisy. So you have to get used to being in a noisy test center also. So when you give your mock test today, make sure you're not sitting in a very silent place. Okay. Otherwise, you will get used to that. Make sure you sit in a noisy place so that you don't get bothered by anything around you. Your concentration doesn't get hampered. You don't lose track of what you're doing. That's one thing. Another thing, when you give mock test today, you'll make sure that you are giving it in one go. Keep
Yeah,
your phone in
completely
another room
understand.
for 2 hours.
All
Put it
right.
on put it on DND. You are on leave, so nobody's going to bother you. Another thing, you are going to give it from the portal. I'll show you where you have to give it. Take a screenshot of this topic quickly.
Just a moment. Yeah.
Okay. Uh, Log into your ETS ID on your laptop and then share your screen. Pranjali, have you taken a screenshot?
Yes, ma'am.
The
This is your
TOEFL
home
one
assignment.
which you said.
Yeah, TOEFL IDPT that we set together, the account that we
Uh,
set together, if you remember.
but you have shared it on Meet itself, that link.
Just search for TOEFL IDPT, and you'll get it. Just use the same login ID and password though.
So, ma'am, can I leave now?
Yeah, sure. If you don't have any questions, then yes.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Study well.
Bye.
Bye.
Sign. Yeah, done. I have signed in.
You signed in?
Can you see my screen?
1 second. No, not yet.
Just a moment. Screen. Yeah. Now can you see?
Yes. Okay. Click on
Yeah.
View Test Ready. You'll have to log in over here again. Okay, it's logged in. It's logged in. Okay, now go down. क्लिक ऑन नहीं ऊपर जाओ थोड़ा सा हाँ फ्री टू यू दिख रहा है उस पर क्लिक करो हम्म, हाँ try to do this listening lecture also today's task but can you
Okay.
see the full
Full
practice
full
test
practice test. Okay.
हाँ so you will do that as a test okay at
So I
night
have to
you
complete
won't
all
have
four of it?
नहीं 4 नहीं पहले वो पूरा टेस्ट तो करो फ्री फुल प्रैक्टिस टेस्ट ब्लू वाला दिख रहा है राइट हैंड साइड में
This
हाँ
one.
आज रात को वो दोगे ठीक है
Okay.
you will give it in one sitting. You will not take any breaks, not even a pee break.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, because you do not get any break in your test center.
All
Yeah,
right.
of course you
Mm-hmm.
have just scroll down. Yeah, you have section test sampler also, and you have free section practice sampler also. You can give it a try, but वो एक एक questions ही है उसमें ज़्यादा नहीं है कुछ ठीक है
Okay.
हाँ but this
और ये
full
अभी
practice test is
listening
important for us
lecture.
हाँ just do that right away after our session and you will finish the writing task also and you will share it with me by 6
Oh,
we will
sorry.
connect
Which
around
one
6
writing task? ये जो the one which you said to take screenshot of it.
हाँ हाँ
Okay. All
you have to
right.
write on it in 100 words ठीक है
Okay. All right. Okay.
150 words not 100 words 150 words minimum 100 words maximum you can write 150 ठीक है
Okay.
you
मैं
will do
WhatsApp
that
पे लिख के भेज सकती हूँ ना? Or do I have to write
type
it
it
in a
on
paper?
your laptop and share it with me नहीं
Okay.
type करना है you don't have to write it on a paper type
Okay.
type because your test is computer based right
All right.
so you have to do it in the same way
Okay.
understood
All right. I'll do that.
okay we'll connect again in some time and then we'll go through other test part okay
Sure. Sure.
but you also
Okay.
go through the TOEFL guide very important
Yeah.
yeah
I'll sit now. I'll take a 15 minutes break and then I'll get this test.
yes
Yeah.
yes
Okay.
yeah
All right. Yeah.
chalo no problem bye see you
Thank
in some
you.
time
Yeah. Bye
no
bye.
problem bye
When are we connecting?
around 6
6 o'clock. Okay.
yep
Thank you.
okay bye
Bye.
bye